Hi, this is Casey, and in this video I'll show you how to do popping up pictures or videos with camera movement. This was requested on our Google Forms, and if you want to request any specific tutorials, feel free to leave a response on the Google Forms linked in the description. Anyways, to start off with this one, we'll be adding in the pictures that we're going to put for the transition first. So to start off, I'll put a picture of Pngs, my favorite Animal Crossing character. So after importing the photo, you're going to want to crop it the way you want it to look like in the final edit. So I'm going to start by cropping it so that it's in a rounded corners, square, rectangular thing. Yeah, so it's going to look like this. And I'm going to add a stroke to it. Make it like that, probably. There we go. So you're gonna make this layer 3D since we're gonna be doing camera movement. You're gonna want to make a null to attach the camera to. So we're gonna be controlling the camera with a null because I find this much easier than doing it from here. So you're gonna position the first picture, in the middle because the camera does not move yet. So I'm gonna probably put it out like this and rotate it slightly. Now to do the first transition, we are gonna be doing a zoom out. So around 20%, 20 something percent would be good enough. Oh yeah, for the camera, the scale is actually backwards, so smaller number makes it bigger, while a bigger number would make it smaller. I'll cover this in a better video on the camera, like a more detailed camera tutorial, but for now, I'll just follow this. So smaller number to bigger number to zoom out. And then we are going to graph this with the value graph. So I'll just make it sharper at the front so that it is faster. So now you see that it zooms out and just shows this clip. It's nothing special yet. Now we're gonna put the second clip. So this is where we start doing the pop-ups. I'm gonna do this picture for the second. And for this one, I'm going to put a heart frame on it because I feel like it. So I'm just gonna key out the gray part. And probably tint the black so that it's pink or orange because I want it to match Pngs. So here we go. Going to adjust this so that Pngs is just positioned inside of it. Here we go. And then I'm going to mask the outside so that it fits inside of the frame. There we go. And I'm gonna pre-comp it. So now we have the second image that we're gonna put. I'll also make it 3D so it moves with the camera. So I'm gonna like move it over here maybe so that the camera can pan this way to the right. I'm gonna make this bigger. So now you see it's positioned over here instead of here. So you're gonna want to move the camera so that it will show the other image. We'll do the pop-up after we get the camera to show it. So you're gonna make a new null layer. Well, you don't have to if you're doing position, but I prefer to have the movements on separate layers so that they get less confusing. They're not as confusing. So you're gonna hit the stopwatch on position to keyframe it. Oh yeah, like I marked the beats, the imaginary beats here. There is no music, but when you do your actual edits and stuff, you might want to mark the beats so you know where to put the keyframes. So since the beat is right here, you're gonna want to put this keyframe a little bit before, and I'll show you why when I graph it. So the first keyframe is going to go before the beat, and then after the second beat, slightly after the second beat, is where the movement will end. So here, I'm going to move the position so that it shows the other picture. Here is like, it looks very linear right now, so I'll graph it first. You're gonna switch to speed graph and drag the first point towards the middle, and do the same with the second one so that the tallest point is closer to the beat. You're gonna want to make it so that so that it's faster in the center where the beat is, or towards the center, but like more to the front. So this way, the movement will look like this. And now we're gonna do the popping up. So for the pop-up, you're gonna want to keyframe the scale. So start by doing the first keyframe, but just create a keyframe. This is the current size, the size that you want it to end at. So drag this to towards the end of where the clip is, like where the transition ends. It doesn't really matter. You can adjust this afterwards to your liking if you don't like the rate it pops up at. So where you want to start popping up, where the beat is, you're gonna want to start where the beat is. You're gonna make it 0. And now you can see it just gets bigger. But what you're gonna want to do to make it do the pop-up is go like a few frames after the first keyframe and make it a little bit bigger than how you want it to end. So if I'm gonna end at 127, maybe I can make it like 20%, like a whole 20% bigger than that. So maybe like 147, for example. There's not much. Okay, maybe a bit bigger. So maybe like 170. And then you're gonna want to make it smaller than it ends. So if it ends at 127, maybe you'll make it 90. And just drag this one back a bit more. Do it like that. And then you're gonna want to make all the keyframes easy ease so it's smoother. And now you see that the second clip pops up. I feel like it's a bit dramatic, so I'm gonna tone this thing down. So maybe 160 instead. And make this 95. So yeah, now the second transition will pop up, and there will be camera movement that shows to show the second clip. So now you want to get the third clip in. But what if you don't want them to be so spaced out, for example? So if you don't want them to be spaced out, you'll just make the movements smaller and the pictures closer together. So I'll just show you right now. I'm just gonna adjust it. I'll move the heart so that it is next to the other picture. So right here, maybe. And now you see the camera is moving too much. So to just adjust the camera to where you want it to be. So maybe here. And now you still see the edge of this one. Okay, actually I want it over here, so I'm gonna move this below. I also think it looks better when you put rotation in the camera movement. So I'm going to go to the position keyframes and make sure the rotations line up with it. So I will put the rotation keyframe here, so 0% at the beginning of the position, the transition, and then when it goes to the other keyframe, you can rotate it. So I'm gonna make it rotate maybe this way, and I'm just gonna adjust this so it's less rotated. And now you see that the camera rotates with the movement. And what I'm gonna do now is graph the rotation so that it moves at the same time as the position. So normally you would just do it with just repeat the same process as the other one. But what you can also do is copy and paste the graph with ease copy, or you can just find any copy and pasting graph thingy. So yeah, that's one way to do it. But since I'm just showing you in the video, I'll be doing it manually. So this should be about the same as the other one. Yeah, pretty much. I think that'll be good, yeah. So now you see that the camera will rotate and position at the same time while the other one pops up. The other clip pops up. And now we're gonna put the last clip. So for the last clip, I'm gonna do the positioning first this time so I know where to put the clip after. So I'm just gonna make a new null to adjust the position of the camera again. So I'll connect the second null here to the new one. Every null is controls controls another null if you connect another null to it. Okay, I don't really know how to explain it, but yeah, so basically it's like a chain of nulls. So the camera follows null 1, and null 1 will follow 2, and 2 will follow 3, and so on, as long as you connect them. So I'm going to turn on the stopwatch for rotation again, and position, and make sure those keyframes are before the beat again. And for the next keyframe, you're gonna want it to be at the end of the clip again, like past the next beat. But since I'm just showing you here, I don't have another beat, I'll just put the thing at the end. So I'm going to move it over here. I'm gonna put the next clip over here, and then the rotation, I'm gonna make it go the opposite way of the last rotation. So the last rotation, I went negative numbers, negative 11. This time I'm gonna do positive. So positive 11 would make it go back to 0% rotation. So there'll be positive 11 plus maybe like 7 degrees, so like 18 degrees. So we'll rotate 18 degrees. And I'm gonna put the positioning right to make it go here. So the next picture I'll put over there. But let's graph the movement. So same thing, speed graph, drag the first handle towards the middle slightly, and then drag the second one so that the point is by where the beat is. So the sharpest point would be around the beat, so that it's faster there. And just repeat the same graph for the rotation, and yeah, just do it like this. So now the fastest point is there. I feel like that rotation's a bit harsh, so I'll probably just do 13. So now you see the camera moves like this. I feel like this movement's a bit sharp, so I'm going to move the keyframes back. So you're going to want your keyframes to overlap each other so that the movement is more, like, it just flows smoothly. The keyframe should overlap. Just move, you can adjust the graphs after you move the keyframes so that they're not out of place, like the sharp points, like the highest point. Because you can see now it's before the beat since I moved the keyframe. I'll just be doing this. There we go. So it looks like this now. And now we're gonna put one more clip here. So the last picture I'm gonna put will be this tangy. Okay, so here we go. One more tangy to go. And this one I'm also going to make it 3D, yeah, so that it moves with the camera. And I'm going to mask it out again. So let's just do a square for this one. Or a rectangle. There we go. And I'm gonna add stroke to it again. I'm just gonna copy and paste the stroke from my previous one so I don't have to do it again. Control C, Control V. Dude, that's Command if you're on Mac. Okay, so I'm gonna change the stroke color to orange. Actually, maybe yellow. Okay, orange. Orange it is. So I'm gonna like make it bigger because it's a bit tiny. and I'm gonna rotate it this way and move it upwards. There we go. And just like the last image, you're gonna keyframe the scale so it pops up. So to do that, same thing. Move the last value, the current size to the end, and then start with 0% where the beat is. So it will start appearing there. Then for the second keyframe, you're gonna want to overshoot, so like bigger than the last one. The last one was 128, so for the second one, I'll do around 145, 155 maybe. And the third keyframe will be under, so smaller than the end value. So the end value is 128, so to make it smaller, I'll just say 95. And then I'm gonna ease the keyframes. So now the transitions should be done. There we go. So they're all just popping up now. I'm gonna adjust this because I think it's a bit slow. Yeah. So yeah, that's how you do your 3D camera with pop-ups transitions. So if you want to make it look a bit nicer than this, you can start adding other PNGs. So this is where you can decorate it. So maybe for a background, you can do a pattern, you can do a solid. I'm gonna do a pattern. So let's say this pattern, for example, this plaid pattern. I'll just put it on underneath everything, and I'll make it 3D so that it also moves with the camera. Then I'm gonna put motion tile on it to stretch it out so that it's bigger and fills the screen. So like that, and then when it moves, you can see it goes out of the thing here. So I'm going to just make it bigger because I don't want to make too many squares. I prefer them to be slightly bigger so we can see them. And now you can see that there's a background that moves with the camera. Like everything moves together because it's all 3D. So what else can you put? Well, you can also put PNGs. Like a paperclip, for example. Like a paperclip. I'm gonna put this in here, make it 3D, shrink it. And I think this was rotated, so it's rotated by -3 degrees. So I'm gonna rotate the -3 degrees to match the image underneath it, and just put it into place. So right here. So now there's a paperclip with the tangy. And I'm going to parent it so that it moves at the same time. Yeah. Oh wait, this one doesn't pop up, so you don't need to parent it. But it's for the other ones, let's like this one for example. I'm gonna put tape on it. I'll make it 3D. Move it here. So for this one, you're gonna see that if you like the scale, it doesn't match up. Like it looks like that. So if you want this tape to move with the picture, you're gonna line it up with the picture first, and then you're gonna parent it. So this layer here, I'm gonna parent the tape to the image. And this way, it moves with the image when it scales. So now it looks like this. And what I usually do when I do 3D camera is add particles. So I did cover how to do particles in a previous video. So since I already covered that, I won't be showing you again here. You can look at the particles video on the channel if you want to know how to do particles. So for now, I'm just going to use the preset that I already created with my own settings. So here, you can see that there are particles. I'm gonna move the layer because there aren't not many particles at the beginning. And as you can see, there are now particles. But since there's like so little, I'm gonna turn the numbers up. And and there we go. So basically, yeah, this stuff is just a bunch of adjusting. And since there's not many particles over, okay, yeah, you know what, this is a good amount of particles. So now I'm gonna change the colors, because I think they don't really match. Maybe like 37. And here you go. So now we have the camera movement and pop-ups. This is the finished scene. So yeah, I hope that answered your questions. Whoever sent the response asking for this tutorial. If you have any more questions for any viewers, just comment below or DM me on my Instagram, which I have linked in the description as well. And I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.